Hi, this is Rick Baldoz coming to you from Ohio in the United States. UP Press has sent along a list of questions for me to answer. So here goes. Question one: what do you think lies ahead in Philippine literature and scholarship? Um, my sense is that we'll start to hear a lot more voices from people in the diaspora, Filipinos living in the Middle East, seafarers, people whose lives are defined by constant movement and not in any kind of settled physical space. Um, Other than that, I don't know of other new trends. Um, what would you like to see happening in your own field of expertise? Good question. I'd like to see more comparative work that goes beyond the usual parameters. For instance, comparing anti-colonial movements in the Philippines and Algeria, for instance, or urban policing in Manila and Mumbai. Um, I guess I lean strongly towards comparative work as a sort of way to reveal interesting patterns and behaviors. How do you deal with criticism? Um, Good question. There's sort of two answers. One is to say that criticism is part of the business of academia. Once you put your work out there, it's sort of beyond your control. Um, People are free to read it critically, and you just have to accept that as part of um, the price we pay for publishing our work. If that doesn't work, I suppose whiskey and Vicodin helps to soothe the pain of some criticism. Do I have a tablet and do I buy ebooks? I do have a tablet. I do not buy ebooks. Um, I'm a big fan of physical printed books. I have a very large book collection that I'm very fond of. I feel like I have a relationship with my books. Um, it's really fun for me to open up a book um, that I read long ago and to see my notes in the margins, sort of try to recall my evolution as a scholar through the prism of thinking about my younger self. So I have a strong kind of affinity for printed books. And to me, ebooks are a lot more impersonal. Not a big fan as of yet. Um, what do you think of digital publishing, and how will it influence how writing is published in the future? Um, Not a big fan of tilting at windmills, so I accept that digital publishing is here to stay. I imagine that it'll probably make the publishing process a little faster, um, but the labor of writing will remain the same. A writer's supposed to be solitary. Um, I lean towards viewing writing as a solitary vocation. Finding your voice as a writer, in my opinion, is best accomplished when you're left to your own devices. Um, is there any book you wish you had written yourself? A few. I guess the one that comes to mind first would be Eric Hobsbawm's The Age of Empire. I return to that book often, and no matter how many times I read it, which is many times at this point, I always learn something new. So I guess I wish I'd written The Age of Empire. Any rituals before writing? I mostly write in cafes, so I suppose it's a ritual to drink a lot of caffeine. I also usually put on a pair of good headphones and play loud music to turn out the chatter, usually something very aggro to get me inspired. If you weren't a writer, what would you have been? Tough question. Probably a librarian. I guess I would aspire to be a librarian. What word do you use the most? No. What word would you like to use more? Awesome. Nora, Vilma, or Dolphy for national artists. Not a big fan of any of those particular artists. I'd probably do a write-in ballot and vote for someone like Diego Castillo of the band Sandwich. Punks and rockers deserve recognition too. Let's see, final question. Who is the best writer scholar in the Philippines right now? So I come at this from the U.S. side of the equation. So two writers, I can't really narrow it down to one, but two that I really like. One is Vince Raphael, very innovative scholar, always pushing the boundaries of historical interpretation. Another scholar I really like is Liloy Claudio, wrote a great book on the EDSA revolution and has done some great writing for the Manila Review. That does it for me. Thanks for listening. Bye.